Hey everyone, so today we're talking about the air conditioning unit in the Model 3. Now, most of you know you access the air conditioning unit by tapping here and everything is controlled via the touchscreen. Nothing new there, but I guess I want to go through just kind of the different modes of the air conditioning unit. So you can tap that and it'll turn off. The fan icon goes off there as well. If you tap that, it turns on automatically. Now, what you'll notice is if you tap this auto button, you see that this recirculate icon kind of went away. Now, the recirculate function is actually being controlled automatically by the car as well. So if I tap this once, it will go into recirculate mode and it actually stays in recirculate mode. So this is like a dark blue color. That means I have manually touched it and it is going to stay in recirculate until the next time I turn off the air conditioning or I toggle the auto mode. So if I toggle the auto mode now, you notice that it goes away and actually went to a slightly dimmer or a gray kind of blue before. That means this recirculate function is now being controlled by the car. So the car will decide whether to take in outside air or to turn on recirculate and recirculate the air inside. Now, the purpose of this video is not to talk about the air conditioning function. It's more to talk about the smell of the air conditioning. So I've had the car for about a year and a half now, and at just over the 1 year mark, I noticed that there was a weird smell, or like a kind of like a wet rag smell coming out of the air conditioning after it rained. So every time it would rain, I drive in the rain for maybe, half an hour, come back, park the car, after 15 minutes, half an hour or an hour, I go back in the car, I drive again, and immediately after that, you can smell like kind of like a wet rag kind of smell coming out of the AC. Now, I know there's a filter down here. So in here there is the air cabin filter. I know you can replace it yourself. I heard it's quite difficult. I heard there's like a screw inside that's quite difficult to get to. So what I decided was I was gonna take this to Tesla and see what they would do. Now I brought it to Tesla and they quoted me $200, so just over $200 to replace that cabin filter and also to clean the system. Now, I don't know what clean the system means. I think they may just spray some sort of cleaning foam inside the air conditioning system to flush it out, but it was going to cost $200. So I decided to let's go ahead and do it, just to see what the experience is like and to see whether or not that actually helps, so that you guys can decide later on. So I took it in Tesla, regular service, booked it on the app, and they did it. Came back, and there was actually no smell anymore. So we had like some severe rainy periods in Sydney. It's not sunny like this now, but it was raining severely for 2 weeks. And during those 2 weeks, after they cleaned the cabin filter, they changed the cabin filter and they cleaned the system, there was no more smell. So even if I went and drove in the rain, parked the car, came back next day or an hour later or whatever, there's no more smell. So whatever they did, it works. But is it worth $200? Now, my concern is that after another year or 6 months, the smell might come back. So since it happened when it rains, I tried to do like a bit of a test. So what I did was, I know that there is a air inlet under the hood over here. So let's go outside and take a look at that first. Okay, so outside now, someone's mowing the lawn, but hopefully the audio sounds okay. So I'm going to open the hood here. Now, underneath this panel over here, this is where the outside air goes into the cabin. So let's remove this first. Okay, so that's that. Now, this is where the outside air goes into the cabin. Now, I washed the car, and after I washed the car, I noticed that there was water all inside here. And I guess that might be what's happening when it's raining. So when it rains, a lot of water probably gets inside here. And I actually looked all the way inside into that grill at the bottom there. So I hope I can get that to focus. So that grill at the bottom, that was also wet. So that's actually the part where the air goes in. Now at the bottom of this kind of air inlet, there is a hole, there's a drain hole, but the water is actually going all the way inside into that grill. So obviously, there's enough water, it's going to go straight over that hole and into that grill area there. So what that means is water is getting in, and my theory is that it's getting inside the cabin filter, making that wet, and then making that smell after it rains. So I did some searching online. There is some kind of parts you can use to cover this, like a plastic cover. But I also discovered that they had this kind of third-party filter that you can put over here. So there's these grooves that fit over these two, I don't know what they call them, these two pieces here, and it's supposed to help prevent excess moisture going in, and it's like an activated carbon in here, like a filter. So what I've done is I've put it in like this. It just kind of sits in there. It's not not held in by anything. It just kind of sits there, and it seems to block a lot of the airflow. So there is a bit of a gap on the side. So, some water, some moisture can still get in, but hopefully it'll prevent the majority of it. And I've actually used this for several weeks now. And after I installed it, and the first thing I noticed was that it blocks a lot of airflow. So if you have the air conditioning on the inside and you turn on the outside air, so you turn off recirculation, you feel that there's very minimal airflow coming into the cabin. It blocks a lot of airflow. And also, it actually does block some of the kind of diesel smells and car fumes as well. I don't know if it's because there's just less airflow or if this is actually doing anything, but I can't really smell the cars I'm following anymore when I have this on. Now, I don't know if this is going to prevent that smell coming back after 6 months or a year, but I hope this will at least extend the life of the filter, or extend the period I have until I need to get that air conditioning flushed again. So anyway, I hope this was useful, and thanks for watching.